have that. That's exciting news. Well, let me introduce you to everybody here really quickly. Hey, good morning. It's Maria from the Fox 11 newsroom here in Los Angeles, and we have the awesome, the voice, the president, Mr. Dennis Haysbert. You know him, of course, from so many shows and movies. That commercial. Are you in good hands?
Are you in good hands? Yes.
I'm not even
that
kidding.
tickled them.
He's also the produce coordinator to Francis. But listen, if you're watching on air, make sure you plus or comment, okay? And tag me in your questions, and we can get them to Dennis as well. So, Dennis, let me introduce you to everybody here in the Hangout really quickly. We've got Adrian, who's hanging out with us from Atlanta, I believe, right?
Hey, Adrian.
Yes.
How are you?
Anthony.
I'm fine, thank you.
Beautiful backdrop you have with you there today,
Anthony.
Adrian. Anthony's in Sacramento. Diano is in Reno.
Morning.
Justin is in Brighton. He's in the UK.
Hi.
Kyle is in Milwaukee. Laurent is in Paris, France right now, this evening. And we have Matt, who's here in Anaheim.
Hello.
And Trev is in the UK as well. He is in Yorkshire.
Hi.
Yeah, so we've got a full house here. So listen, today Dennis is here specifically talking about an event, a golf tournament.
Golf tournament.
And it's the first, right?
It's the one. It's the first one I'm hosting. And it's the beneficiary is raincatcher.org, and it is a charitable organization that brings water to impoverished countries and also places that have suffered tragedies.
It's incredible to think that today, in this day and age, that people don't even have the basic necessity of water. Isn't it amazing?
Well, it's sometimes it's worse. There are countries in South America where you'll be killed if you catch away. They say, it belongs to God while it's in the air, but when it's on the land, it's ours.
Take it for granted.
So we take it for granted and smile.
Yeah.
But
this is important. It's an important event. Listen,
conserve.
And if you're here, if you want to take part in the event in some way, it is here in California. Next Monday.
The best way you can help with us is to donate to raincatcher.org. I mean, $1, $2, $3, whatever you can afford, and tell your friends, because the one thing I couldn't say on television that I can say here is that one day we'll go to war over it, and there are some that believe we're at war over water right now. Yeah. Because in Iraq, everybody thinks it's oil. I think it's the Euphrates. And he who controls the Euphrates controls the Middle East.
Yep.
So,
Yep. No, I agree. Listen,
it's all about the water.
I know you guys want to say hi, so whoever wants to, please let me know, and I will go. Kyle, yeah, go ahead. Kyle.
Dennis, great to meet you. I was just wondering how you got involved initially in that organization for bringing water to everyone.
It was really kind of by accident. I was doing some work on my house, and my foreman, or my contractor at the time, was working on my house, and the job was getting ready to end. And I said, well, what are you going to do next? He says, well, I always go to Kenya or Uganda and put in these rain catchers. I said, rain catchers, what is that? And he explained it to me. I said, well, how do I get involved? And he said, man, he said, they'd love you. And I said, well, introduce me. And then I started doing, kind of PSAs and talking about it. So I got involved there. So now I am their official spokesperson, for raincatcher.org. So that's why I'm doing a tournament.
That's fantastic. Now, we were just doing some research on you, of course. You're a busy guy. You're doing movies and TVs, but you also have a clothing line. You have a website. We have a website,
DennisHaysbert.tv, and I started a golf clothing line because I just got tired of wearing other people's clothes. So I decided I wanted to wear my own logo, and so it's called DH6 Gear. And it's fun.
Check it out. I know we were just checking it out. It looks really cool. I love it. Matt, yes, go ahead.
I was just wondering, you were, essentially our first black president. Do you think that kind of opened up the United States for actually electing a real, an actual black president?
I always thought that, when I was playing the role, I played the role as seriously and as honestly as I could, with the hope that if I did my job correctly, if I inspired one person to seek out the presidency or whatever, or just open the minds and the hearts and the eyes of the general public to the idea, then I would have done my job.
I think you did, actually.
Did a
I do think
very good job.
Awesome.
Yeah. Adrian, yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, first let me say I'm trying to be calm because you're like my favorite. And I'm watching 24 now. I decided to, because I'm writing and it inspires me, and I'm on your season when you're President Palmer. So way to go. So I freaked out when I saw the announcement that you were going to be on. But for your clothing line, is it just for all men, or is it men, tall men, or because my husband?
No, it's for all men, and I'm actually starting to incorporate ladies wear into it. I actually know a couple of female golfers that I'd like to sponsor. So sometimes
I'll bring my clothes out if you come to Atlanta.
Well, I may be in Atlanta sooner than you think.
Okay, well, please let me know because I'll be there to play with you.
Wow, Adrian. Anyone else have a question? No? Okay. Kyle. Justin, go ahead. Go ahead, Justin.
Getting back to water, but with a different thing. I read that you were a certified deep sea diver, and,
yes, I am.
And because of Discovery Channel, did you do that because of the program, or did Discovery approach you because you were already doing that?
Well, they wanted a host for this particular show, and I have a friend that was a former Navy SEAL and diver as well, and he also dives with the Sheriff's Department. In another town, I won't mention where, but I decided, yeah, I would love to do it, and I narrated. I actually set a world record.
You did?
I narrated at 185 feet. Actually spoke underwater.
How did you develop that desire to want to go diving? Did you grow up around?
You know what? I first started diving when I was doing the movie Navy SEALs, and I fell in love with it. And they gave us our tanks and all apparatus, and I just continued to dive.
Wow. Now, what are you working on now? What can we see you in next?
I got 4 films coming out. I have The Details coming out with Tobey Maguire and Laura Linney. I have LUV coming out next with Common.
Oh.
And I have Wreck-It Ralph.
Can't wait for that.
Pardon me?
I can't wait for that.
Wreck-It
Ralph, honestly, I really can't wait for it. It looks really good.
Yeah, Wreck-It Ralph is going to be fun. And then I have Welcome to the Jungle that's coming out. It's with Jean-Claude Van Damme playing his first comedic role.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
Jean-Claude Van Damme, the comedian. This I need to see.
You do need to see this.
We take one step closer to the universe shattering.
It's like, wait a second, now you've opened up the door now. It's like, now I have to know. It's like, have you guys filmed this movie yet? Is it in post-production?
It's filmed, it's in post-production now, yeah.
Okay, so it's like, how was it? Jean-Claude Van Damme, the comedian, I have to know.
He was pretty funny. I have to admit. He was a good guy.
Yeah? Oh, good. Well,
Yeah,
he was
he's got a good
supposed to
heart.
be here in the Hangout, but maybe we'll still get him. Shaka, what's your question? You have some questions?
Excuse me. Pleasure to meet you.
Oh,
What's
Shaka.
Shaka?
I'm sorry, he's our tech ninja.
Yeah, I didn't get a
This is our-
chance to chat with him because you grabbed him on the way out.
Oh,
So it's all right,
we
it's all
blocked
right.
him.
That's by design, man. I'm sorry.
I'm a huge military geek. I understand. Trust me.
Yeah.
I'm a huge military geek, and so you've done Navy SEALs, you did a unit. And what was that like taking on? I mean, specifically roles of special forces. So it wasn't like you were just like you were a grunt or like you were a GI. You were actually playing a special forces, which requires some physical.
Oh yeah.
What was it like preparing for those roles? And did you ever have to use a rebreather?
A rebreather? No, not yet. I want to use a rebreather because I like the idea of a rebreather is a bubbleless scuba, and when you're under the water and you're swimming amongst fish, if you're bubbleless, you actually have to move the fish out of the way. You know, when you're wearing the other apparatus,
So
it's
they
so
come
loud and the
around
bubbles are so prominent that scares them away. But when you're with a bubbleless scuba, which is a rebreather, you have to move. You're a fish essentially.
That's amazing.
What was it like preparing the physicality?
The physicality of it, I mean, you know what? It was like going to the gym and doing aerobics every day live, and we did it in Santa Clarita, which is affectionately called the surface of the sun. So, for being, oh yeah, and I think it's actually on the same. I think latitude line is Iraq and Afghanistan. Well, not Afghanistan, not Iraq, because Afghanistan can get actually really, really cold. And I've been to all these places. I've been to Iraq and Afghanistan 5 out of the last 6 years, visiting the troops. And I can say that the unit is still the #1 show in the military.
It's the #1 show in my household.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, I just found out yesterday that I'm going to the Marines Gala coming up, I think, in November, and they're giving me the Semper Fidelis Award.
That's pretty cool. I have a lot of friends who are actually scout snipers and military, and so that's why I was really interested.
No, we were trained. We were actually trained by a 12-year veteran founding member of Delta Force.
He was a consultant on the show. Right?
He was a consultant on the show, and our last test was to do a close quarter battle in the writers' room, and they didn't know we were coming. and we surprised them.
That's scary.
And we were using blanks, and they I don't know, I think a couple of them may have soiled themselves, I'm not sure.
Oh, come on, tell me you got that on video. That'd have been fantastic.
Oh, that would have been great if we had it on video, but I don't think we would have gotten the releases for it.
Yeah, maybe not so much.
I mean, the reaction to a close quarter battle is not generally pretty.
Is there a role that you'd like to play still? Are there roles that you still think about and want to do?
Yeah, there are all kinds. I'd like to really play a really full romantic lead role with military applications to it. There's so many different types of roles and roles that you can merge together that I'd like to do. But romantic movies are wonderful.
Who would be your
action is always wonderful.
Who would be your leading?
Who would be a female lead?
Oh, God, and the list is long and distinguished.
Me too.
There's so many ladies I would love to work with. Yeah.
Okay, pick your top 3.
There's a Halle. I would love to work.
Pick my top 3. Well, I've already worked. Well, let's say I've worked with Julianne Moore. I've worked with Michelle Pfeiffer. I've worked with Halle Berry, and actually, 3 of those ladies are in the top 15 of most beautiful actresses leading ladies of all time.
Wow! And look at you. You have had all 3.
But I would like to go older. I'd like to go younger. I'd love to work with Meryl Streep. Not just because she's a beautiful woman, but she's just a fantastic actress. Yeah. Kate Blanchett, I would love to work with. Amy Adams, because I just think she's just. I think she's an amazing actress. She never phones anything in. I've seen her a lot of her movies, and she's always great. She always sets the bar very, very high.
So I'm just trying to keep Dennis here longer. But
and Viola Davis.
Viola Davis.
Viola, I would love to work with. And,
yeah. Now, do you memorize all your lines, the whole script before, or are you one of those actors?
I go scene to scene.
You go scene to scene.
Yeah, it's not a play.
No.
But I love theater.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I made my Broadway debut in 2010 in a show called Race, which was written and directed by David Mamet.
I'd love to see you on the stage. Have you done any theater here in LA?
Yeah, it's just really too much of a luxury. I mean, if I want to reach the largest audience possible when I do work on stage.
And that would be New York.
That would be New York.
Or maybe even Europe, England.
Europe, England, yes.
Yeah, when you talk about the
Old Globe. I'd love to be at the Old Globe.
Yeah. Well, listen, you guys, thanks so much for hanging out. Dennis, thank you for stopping by and hanging out with us.
My pleasure.
You're awesome. Come back and visit
awesome?
again.
Look at her.
Oh, yes.
Look at that Punham.
Look at
that.
Take it.
I'm jealous.
I know, Adrian, you should be. Can you guys take a photo of me and Dennis? Okay. Here's the camera
Right on.
Thank you.
I want a picture. And Dennis, when are you coming to Atlanta? I want to know, seriously.
I don't want to tell you right now, but it will be soon.
Adrian at empowerme.org. And it's with 2 N's. ABRIENNT at empowerme.org.
It came from the heart.
All right. It's great meeting
I'm not
all.
sure about the heart. It must come from somewhere. But,
Guys, thanks.
It was a pleasure meeting you, Dennis. Thanks for talking.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you, all of you.